Oh gosh. Second to last week of power rankings. Let's get right into it. Of course, like and subscribe. Hope you enjoyed. We got. Hope you guys enjoyed. We got the post week 17 power rankings. Let's get right into it. 32 teams. Let's go. Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to NFL. We got the post week 17 power rankings, of course. Hope you guys like it though. Like, subscribe. Hope you guys enjoy. Let's get right into it. First team we're doing Titans. Okay, here's on the thumbnail. I'm not putting them in S. They get Derrick Henry back. Of course they're going in S. They're a great team. But I'm still not sold on them. That's the thing. Yeah, they did blow out the Dolphins. Like, it was really bad. But here's the thing. They need to play like that every single week. They have not been the most consistent team, obviously, this year. But I gotta admit, they have won. Let's see. They were 8-3, I think. They've won 3 in a row. They've looked really good. But they get Derrick Henry back. We'll see in the playoffs. But they're looking good. Dolphins, I'll put them in C tier. Like, they got blown out. They're just not that great. Of course, they've been average. They've won 1 in a row. They lost 7 in a row. They've won 7 in a row. Then they lost, of course, last week. They could win against the Patriots, but honestly, it's been a roller coaster of a season for them. I still like them though. So yeah, Jets F tier. Good job. You played close with the Bucks, but still, like, you can't really play that. You just blew it. If they would have won if they didn't blow it, but they played really well. Probably their best game this season, but I just with everything that's happening and the fact that they're 4-12 and the fact that they have not been great this season and they blew a lead, they're gonna stay in F tier. They're not a great team. Bengals, I'll put them in A tier. They beat the Chiefs. They've won 3 in a row. Joe Burrow's looked great. Yeah, I know it wasn't against the greatest team 2 weeks ago, but still, Bengals are really a team. No, I'm not overreacting and putting them in S. They don't deserve to go in S. Not at least yet. They're going to have to beat another good team, especially in the playoffs, if I think they're going to go in S. They haven't won a playoff game since, 31 years, I think? So, yeah, there's no way I'm putting them in S. Browns, you know what? I'll keep them in C tier. Like, they're better than some of the teams that are in D tier. I got to admit that. But they're terrible. They're 7-9. Baker's out for the rest of the season. Baker's had a really disappointing year. They haven't played great. Of course, they lost to the Steelers 26-14. You know what? Yeah, they go in D tier. They've been poo-poo this year. If they beat the Bengals, we'll put them in C, but they've been poo-poo this year. Really inconsistent, disappointing year. That's about all I have to say for the Browns. They're going to finish with a losing record. Jags, of course, they're the worst team in the NFL right now. Expect to get the number 1 pick. If they beat the Colts and the Lions lose too, the Lions get the number 1 pick. So yeah, just lose and you get it, Jags. Lions, they're still F tier. They're not a great team. Yeah, they put up 29 points. Fact is, they give up 51 points. You're not going to win if you do it. They give up 51 points. I'm sorry. Yeah, they're not great. Vikings C tier, they lost with a backup quarterback. I can't really give them that excuse. Like, they've beaten some good teams. They've lost to some good teams. They've beaten some good teams. They've lost to some good teams. They've lost to some bad teams. They've beaten some bad teams. They are the epitome of inconsistent. They play close every game except for last week because they had their backup quarterback. They're basically just really safe. Bucks, yeah, I'm not putting them in S. Like, you know what? Yeah. I'll put him in S. Look, with everything that happened, like the Antonio Brown debacle, the fact that Zach Wilson actually played well and their defense wasn't playing great. Tom Brady, in the end, though, you had Tom Brady and you won the game. That's the reason they're in S tier right now. Probably should be an A, but they got the 3 seed and they're still winning, so they're going to stay in S. They're a really good team. They're hard to beat. Yeah, I'm putting the 49ers in B. They've been good really all season. They've been pretty inconsistent, but they have shown this fact that they can blow out really good teams. At their best, they're beating the Packers in Lambeau. I know crazy that sounds, but they're a really good team. They're just been really inconsistent, and see how they do against the Rams. They need to win if they want to make the playoffs, most likely. Falcons D tier, I've said that all season. Yeah, they're going to beat bad teams. They have a easiest schedule in the NFL. They're not a good team, though. You saw their offense was shut down in Buffalo, and as a result, they ended up losing. Ravens, I'm keeping them in C. You know what? They've lost 5 in a row. Ravens are in C tier, and here's why. They have lost 5 in a row. They should have beat the Rams. Yeah, great game plan. You get, average teams just don't finish. They didn't finish. They've lost 5 in a row. They're collapsing. And yeah, that's really all I have to say. They can still make the playoffs for some darn reason, but if they make the playoffs, there's something wrong with the NFL. I'll just tell you that. Bears, D tier. Like, I mean, they blew out the Giants. Good for you, Bears. You've won 2 in a row. You beat another bad team. Like, you still stink. That's all I have to say. Cowboys, A tier. They're still a really good team. You got to remember that. Like, the Cowboys, yeah, they're probably not S tier right now. That was a bad loss. They probably can be here. They're, like, in the middle. I'll keep them in A tier, though. They're better than the 49ers. They're not. Of course, we saw they lost to the Cardinals 25-22. Teams like the Bucks, they've lost to. They can still get the number 2 seed. They win and the Bucks and Rams lose. But, honestly, they're really not that bad at all. They're still a really good team. Cowboys should win a playoff game. Or they could. Texans still F tier. Like, I mean, they're terrible. I don't really need to say anything else. They're 4-12. Going to be picking the top 5. You're not a good team when you do that. Colts. You know what? I'll keep them in B tier. They're just pretty much a pretty inconsistent team. All these B tier teams are good teams. They beat good teams. They lose to good teams. They just played really close. I know the Raiders, though, that's a team they need to win. If they won that game, they would have had a huge for them. But they ended up losing. Titans get the South. Yeah, that's just not. It's not gonna be bode well for you, Colts. Rams, they're S tier. Like, I mean, they're better than they're probably the second best team in the NFL right now. Even when Matt Stafford, like I said, stinks, he comes through in the second half and goes 14 for 14 and 2 touchdowns. I'm sorry, but the Rams in the playoffs are gonna be a tough team to beat if they get in the fourth quarter with Matt Stafford having the ball. The Rams are gonna win those games. It's just how it works. So, yeah, Rams defense looked great. Their offense was good in the second half. They just got to be a little more consistent, and they could be possibly the best team in the NFL. Of course, they're not right now, but they could be. Chargers. They're B tier. I mean, they looked really good against the Broncos. Broncos are a decent team. They looked really good against them. Of course, they got a make-or-break game against the Raiders on Sunday Night Football, so we'll see if they can win that, or if the Colts lose to the Jaguars. That could actually happen, considering they haven't won there since 2014. Then the Raiders and Chargers might not even be playing if they just want to both make the playoffs, I guess. Yeah, but Raiders, on note of that, I'll put them in B. They had a huge win, of course, last week. Kind of looks like the Chargers. They look really good, except the fact they can turn over the ball and still win games because their defense has their back, and they're a really good pass defense. So Raiders and Chargers, they're both make or break game for them. Of course, if the Colts lose, they can just tie. They don't even have to play a snap. That would be awesome for them. It could be like a bye week. But yeah, it's a make or break game for them. Washington, D tier. They've lost, let's see, 4 in a row after starting. So they lost, they won, they lost. Wait, what was it? Let's see. Yeah, they lost, they won, they lost, they won. Then they lost 4 in a row, won 4 in a row, they've lost 4 in a row. Just pretty much been a roller coaster season, except the Dolphins have actually beaten some teams that are legitimate. Washington just hasn't, and they've gotten blown out by some really good teams. Kind of like the Dolphins, but they've gotten blown out by a lot more teams. Chiefs, they're still S tier. Like, I mean, they lost to the Bengals, but if their defense didn't, like, that's an off week for their defense. Their defense won't be playing that bad again. I can guarantee it. Because there's no way you're calling that again. If they play the Bengals again, they're gonna beat them. Like, it's the Chiefs. The Chiefs don't get swept. It's kind of how it works. Offense was good. They got to be a little more consistent, but Chiefs, it's one game. They're still fine. Saints, C tier. Like, they can still make the playoffs, but there's no way. They're not D tier. Like, they beat the Panthers handily. Well, they didn't beat them handily, but their defense is so good that I'm, like, fine putting them here. They're not a terrible team. They're one of the worst C tier teams, but they can still make the playoffs. They're a playoff team. Unless you're in the NFC East like last year, you're going to be a C tier team. Giants, F tier. They're probably the worst team in the NFL right now. They're just straight up terrible. I don't need to say anything else. Eagles, no way you're going to B tier. Probably the best C tier team, but no way you're going to B tier. You're not that good. Sorry, guys. Eagles should not be a playoff team. Yeah, they've won some good games, but they haven't really beat anyone good. They've had an easy schedule, considering Carson Wentz had a collapse last season. The Eagles are not a good team. You got to remember that. They're going to get one. If the Eagles and Saints are in the playoffs, they're both going to get shellacked in the first round. I'll just tell you that. Steelers, C tier. They can still make the playoffs. Like how they played last week. Their defense is really good when they can get pass rush. Run defense is still terrible. They're not a very physical football team. They try to beat you with speed at times. Not on the offensive line. Not really with Big Ben, but They're more of a finesse football team now, which kind of stinks. They're not going to be next year, I'll tell you that much. But they're still a decent team. You got to remember that. They've beaten the teams they're supposed to beat when the times they need to. Broncos, C tier. Like, I don't hate the Broncos. They haven't really been that bad this year. They haven't gotten, like, absolutely clobbered. Yeah, are they a fragile team? Heck yeah. They could beat the Chiefs. But the thing is, they're just not. They haven't really shown me anything to show that they're that bad. Yeah, they lost to the Chargers. Chargers are a better team than them. That's gonna happen. Packers, like they're the best team in the NFL, and it's not really that debatable. You could maybe argue the Rams, but the Rams lost to them and they played like crap. So you can't really say the Packers are the number 1 seed. Like they already clinched the number 1 seed. They're playing a meaningless game. Aaron Rodgers is still gonna play for some odd reason. I don't blame him, but like. They're a really good team. They're playing on national television in a meaningless game for a reason. They're the best team in the NFL. Yeah, they literally are. It's kind of stupid. Panthers D tier, like, their defense is, like, here right now. B and A. Like, they're a good pass defense, decent run defense. Their offense is awful, though. Like, Sam Darnold's moving the football at least, but they're just not good. Cardinals, A tier. They're legit. They're not going to be that crappy team yet. They were in a hole and they kind of climbed themselves out of it. They can still win the division. Honestly, it's definitely not out of the question. But yeah, the Cardinals are not a bad team. That's all I have to say. Bills, A tier. They're so talented. Yeah, Josh Allen threw 3 picks. Unlucky game, you could call it. He wasn't great anyway, but it's just the fact that they play complimentary football when they need to. And that's what they did. They won the game. They're a good team. Seahawks, like, they're not F tier, but, like, they crushed the Lions. They're not C tier. They're not C tier, no. Them and the Bears are about par. They're just not been good this year. Of course, disappointing year. It's been a mess of a situation for Seattle, but in the end, though, they're still going to have a decent draft. They're not going to have a decent draft because they don't have... Wait, do they? No, they don't. They're not going to have a decent draft pick. Either way, they're D tier. They're not great. Patriots B tier. They blew up the Jags. Can't really take anything off of that. Before that, they lost to the Bills by 12. They kind of got dominated, but Patriots are still a decent team. They've clinched a playoff spot. They can still win. They can still be the 2 seed. I know how crazy that sounds, but yeah, Patriots are still a good team. You got to remember that. They win, the Bills lose, they get the division. They got to beat the Dolphins. It's not going to be an easy matchup. But yeah, that's going to be it for the post-week 17 power rankings. We got one more set of this. Then we got the wild card power rankings. And then we'll all go all the way to the... I'm joking. We're not doing the Super Bowl power rankings. Well, we could. I might do that. Either way, guys, like and subscribe. Hope you enjoyed. That's me out of the post-week 17 power rankings. Hope you guys enjoyed. Here's the list. And yeah, that's it.